A319's two most important and valuable components. Its turbofan engines.
It's like folding fitted sheets at home with the missus. I hate doing it.
Under the direct supervision of the airline's authorised technicians, Sam and his right-hand man Khalil can get on with their mucky mission.
I got it. You can do the next one. Never clean here.
Initially, you think, oh, Sam's a tough guy, like, you don't want to be on the wrong side of him. And then when you get to know him, then you know he's just a joker, just like the rest of us. He messes around, he has a bit of a laugh. And it's good to know that, like, you can be serious and he can mess around and have a bit of a joke when the time comes.
Just draining the fuel at the lines, and we'll empty the oil tank as well. It's got to be done because the engine's getting transported, the air cargo, so it can't have any fuel and oil in it. So that's basically what we do. It's easier to do it, to drain it while it's hanging on the wing, than in the engine stand. It's quite awkward to get into on the engine stand, to get the drip trays in to drain it into.
Whoa, OK, didn't expect that. At least I caught the plug. That was quite a bit more than I expected. You're lucky you weren't lying down there, Sam.
Did you get him making a mess, did you?
You would have had a face full of oil and you feel...
It can be a bit nervy, you know, so it's worth a lot of money, the engines. So you'd have to be careful what you're doing, you know, with your tools and that, make sure you don't damage it. As I say, it's big bucks. There's more than I'll ever see in my lifetime hanging there on that wing.
Big bucks, you're telling me. With turbofan engines like this worth up to $5 million apiece, they can't afford to be languishing idle in a hangar. There is huge demand from other airlines and enterprising middlemen around the world to buy up these valuable components in order to refurbish and sell them on, making a tidy profit in the process. So it's no surprise that the new owner wants these engines removed serviceably, meaning they're needed to go straight back out to work to power another plane up into the sky and start earning their keep. Today, Sam and Khalil will need to graft alongside a couple of incomers. Unlike any of the workforce here at E-Cube, Luis and Freddie hold special B1 credentials to allow them to remove these engines serviceably. They're being paid by an American airline and they've flown more than 4,000 miles to take on this sole job.
We travel from Miami all around the world. Yeah, here it's different because over there it's like 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and here it's cold, rainy, snows, and I'm putting in layers and layers of clothes.
Will you change Miami for Cardiff?
No.
It's just as well as there's no time for sightseeing now. There are deadlines to meet. And the men from Miami must work quickly and seamlessly with our chaps from Cardiff.
I'm just going to tilt it to use now, get it away from the forks. We never know sometimes what nationalities we're going to be working with. We've had a lot of Americans, Irish, Spanish. We've had them from South America. I think Venezuela was one of the last lot that come in. I mean, even in this country, the accents can be tricky to understand. I mean, you got Timo with his northern accent sometimes. What? You know. And some of the Welsh boys, they can, when they start talking amongst themselves, you can make it difficult, but we get there.
I told him to leave it for you to do, but he ignored me.
We need to work in sign language then if it gets that bad.
Luckily, the lads have rubbed shoulders a few times before, but there's no time for small talk now. Time, as they say, is money, and the two valuable turbofan engines need to come off pronto.
So now we're bringing the load off the engine with a booster crane.
The engine weighs in at just under 2.4 tons. Although it's a move that the lads have done countless times before, it's always nail-biting stuff.
It's always, you know, you're sweating your fuel pump, you know?
To add to the weighty pressure the lads are now feeling, the final bolt is taking a fair bit of persuading.
Normally we get the stands on quite simply. They fall in normally. But we're having issues with the pins, the actual the lug itself, trying to get them in place. it seems like, as you can hear, it's just about there.
The liberal use of American muscle has granted this engine its freedom. But the next task will be just as demanding. The lads need to gently manoeuvre this monster mass clear of the pylon the engine was attached to.
All right, quarter in the back. Okay, everybody ready? Ready.
Ready.
Quarter up a turn.
Quarter.
All right. He's looking good. Good here. All right, let's just check now for anything tight to the engine. All right. All right, quarter in the front.
Pretty cool, man.
Ready, Fred?
Quarter. Ready.
Quarter.
The job is not only time sensitive, any slight dink, dent or damage could mean disastrous consequences when the engine fires up again to power a fully loaded passenger plane 160 knots down a runway.
You got to think about hundreds of lives that are in there, you know, in the air that are flying with, and you're making sure that everybody's safe, you know, that's the most important thing.
Good. All right, down. Down.
Hold on, what's that?
Who's that? Oh, she's pushing that. Yeah. Get the weight off these chains, shall we?
It's tense stuff.
Get the weight off. That's fine. Yeah, I've got a good inch and a half, 2 inches now. As soon as the weight come off, the wing went up. It opened up.
The engine is now free.
Right, so
Yeah, everything went perfect. We just came down. We're separated from the pylon already, so we're just gonna pull the engine out. So we're down and safe.
Mission accomplished. The Americans have completed their sortie. Now the men from Miami can finally get a bit of R&R before flying back home.
So, are you happy with them to go with?